All right. Hey guys, welcome back. All right. So this is going to be a different kind of a storytelling. This is for an Aries North Node. So first off, let me talk just a minute about what that means. I am not an astrologer. I am a fictional storyteller, and I get inspired by all kinds of different concepts. And I really like the ideas of North and South Node. So what that boils down to is this. Ancient astrologers, from what I've read, and I've read a whole bunch of different books on astrology and cobbled things together, and then I kind of put my own unique spin on things. So you're going to get a Kate's regurgitation and a totally different style of storytelling here in a minute. But basically, ancient astrologers viewed this concept of a dragon circling around the earth, and that dragon ate the sun or the moon, depending on references. But the head of the dragon was considered the North Node, and the tail of the dragon was considered the South Node. And what that really represents, we're talking about the lunar nodes when we say this, but we're not talking about the planetary body. We're actually talking about the place where the moon's orbit intersects with the Earth's orbit around the sun. And it's at that like mathematical location that we are referring to the lunar nodes. So what we have is these two completely opposite signs for those lunar nodes. So in this case, if you have a North Node in Aries, then it means the South Node is going to be in Libra, and conversely as well. So, North Node in Libra means South Node in Aries. Now, what does that mean? It means that the interpretation is, roughly anyway, is that the South Node is kind of the culmination of all our past lives that made us who we are today. It's how we're born into this world. It's our natural talents. It's the persona that we have. It's the gifts, the comfort zone of everything that we feel familiar or that we like to do and we feel comfortable and competent doing and being. The North Node is where we are supposed to be striving to go. It's our challenge. It's what we're supposed to evolve into. So with that concept in mind, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tell a story. But we want to first set the stage for this story. So who would our character be? Well, if we are describing a character whose North Node is Leo, before we talk, whose North Node is Aries, forgive me. I don't know why I wanted to say that. Whose North Node is in Aries, we have to first talk about their South Node characteristics, which would be their Libra South Node energy. So what it would mean is we would have a character who their comfort zone is one of being charming and diplomatic. They're very good at like they make people like them. They know how to address people with this respect that makes them feel important, that makes them feel valued. Everybody wants to work with this character, right? Everybody would want to be around somebody with that Libra South Node energy because they make people feel really special. They're really good at, being a good listener, paying attention to the likes and dislikes. They're extremely excellent, maybe at doing things like business, and then they have this refined taste, so people want to be around them, be seen with them because they look awesome. Like that's who our character would be for starters. The kinds of careers that they might be interested in could be things like, art collectors. They could be great at sales. They could be great politicians. They could be really good at any form of diplomacy and anything that requires someone to because they're so well liked, people want to be around them. The only thing is it's a comfort zone with making partnerships, but oftentimes that character deep down, their real need is to have like a genuine loving partnership. So that could describe our character. But remember, this is a storytelling for the North Node aspect, so the Aries aspect. So what does this character need to maybe work on evolving into? And in this case, they need to evolve into somebody that is less about partnerships and more about self. Someone who would be focusing on more impulsive decision, because sometimes with that Libra South Node energy, that could indicate somebody who can be a little bit indecisive because they are, taking so many things into account, both sides of every story, making sure that there's always, people feel comfortable and they feel seen and heard. And in that element of diplomacy, sometimes one's own voice can be lost. So to kind of be a little bit more brash, to kind of be a little bit more like grab a hold of what they want for themselves, to leap into something and just pour their heart out instead of being a little bit more refined and charming, to actually go ahead and go big. to go ahead and, be that adventurer, to not hold back on the exciting energies. Like, this could be a character who is so good at developing relationships with others that they put maybe some of their own great ideas on hold. The Aries North Node person could be someone that's very creative. They could make a name for themselves with some, amazing and unique thing that no one else has ever seen before. They could be an inventor. They could be someone who becomes quite well known for their own gifts and talents. They could be an awesome race car driver, an awesome athlete. They could be somebody who is like a one man or one woman act or show. It's somebody who's really very visible, and they're unself-conscious about, like, they're going to give it their all. They're going to be sweaty, dirty. They don't care. They swagger around a little bit instead of being very diplomatic. So that's kind of the energy that our Aries North Node character would be shifting into. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and actually tell a story for this character now that we've identified who they are. Oh, by the way, some locations that could be important for the Aries North Node would be Florence, Naples, Verona, Marseille, England, Germany, Poland. So we've got some nice international locations on that list. Well, I guess it's international to me. We have got a 6 of Swords. So this character is, like, one of the challenges that they have, and one of the things for them to strive toward would be to move forward, to let go of maybe the sense that I wouldn't want to step on toes, or I wouldn't want to leave someone dissatisfied because I have to be the great diplomat. My duty is to be the great diplomat. I can't leave somebody feeling dissatisfied with me, or like I feel like this character, not that they're exactly a people pleaser, but in that air of diplomacy that they've always held, I think that their challenge here is to leave behind the fact that they're not going to make everybody happy. Some people are not going to like them, and that can't matter too much. We've got the Moon. We got the 9 of Wands. The other thing that I see with this Aries North Node character is, if they have to move on, they may also have to not be such an open book to others, as far as, like, they may need to move in a little bit of mystery. They may need to cut people off and cut people out that persistently ask them to, like, oh, you always make things better. Hey, you've got these skills, these talents, I want to come to you with my problems. I want you to help me solve my problems because you're so diplomatic. You always hear my issues. They might need to move away from people that have gotten so reliant on them for that as well. And they might need to cut themselves off. Almost like this says to kind of cloak oneself and tend to one's own needs. I wonder if this character has been a bit depleted, and they need to turn their attentions less to the cares and the needs of others and more onto themselves. Because this looks like they're a bit of a wounded warrior. Like, they've been working hard, but yeah, they got to change some things. They got to turn over a new leaf. I think that this character needs to, even though it'll tick some people off probably because they're going to be like, wow, you sure are selfish now. When really, if they cut people off that keep wanting their energy and people get irritated with them over that, who's the selfish one, right? It's the person who's like, well, you used to always, let me talk your ear off for 3 hours, and you always made me feel better, and you always were so diplomatic. And now instead, here you are saying you don't have time to care about my needs, my wants. I'm picturing even like somebody who could be like, if our character ever worked in like the hospitality industry, and they were always so accommodating, they would bend over backwards. They would make, high-end clientele feel like, oh, the sun rises and sets on you. The only thing that matters is that you're satisfied. Let us roll out the red carpets. Let us make sure that you have everything you need. Complain about, the temperature of the ice in your glass, and we'll replace it for you. I kind of think that this character is going to be like, yeah, I don't want those people to have too much direct access to me. There's been I think that we've had our character getting drained by individuals taking too much from them, and I think that they're like done with it. This to me looks like they're turning their back on this. They're turning over a new leaf. It's a new version of them, and it's a little bit more of like, you know what? I have needs. Those petty little complaints that you used to pepper me with, I'm so not interested in hearing any more of those. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not really going to announce to anybody like it's all about me now, but it's going to be more about me. It's going to be about my wants. It's going to be more about what I need to do and less about whether or not other people are getting all of their needs met through my services, my bending over backwards. But I'm not really going to walk around and announce it, but people will probably recognize the difference. This character could even say, you know what, I actually I haven't taken a vacation in a really long time. I'm taking it, and I'm going to actually call in all my vacation time. I'm going for a month and a half. And it could stun people. And they're like, well, where are you going? Well, can we get in touch with you? Nope. I'm going off grid. I'm not explaining to anybody where I'm going. I need to do this for me. There's this element of, I think they're reclaiming what they need to reclaim for themselves. This Aries North Node person seems to be choosing, they could have a staycation. They may not be going anywhere with this with this chariot card in the reverse. They may not be leaving town, which is the other reason they're like, no, I'm just going incognito. I don't want anybody to know where I am. I'm going to rest and relax. I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to just take long walks down by, the river in my, or the creek bed in my own, country neighborhood. This is a character who wants to be happy. They want to spend time in the sun. They want to shine like the sun. They want to pursue things that make them genuinely happy instead of their purpose in life being to make sure that there's another person is always happy and pleased by their actions. They're saying it's about time that I ask myself, what do I need? What do I want? It's a bit of a lone wolf. I think this character is going to go solo. They could take like a, hop on their motorcycle and go for a long ride. Whatever it is that heals them, makes them feel free, and makes them feel like I'm not running from myself, not at all. I'm trying to literally come back to myself, find myself, and focus on what makes me happy, what career path makes me happy, how much time in a day do I have, and how many of those hours do I need to set aside for, my career and business, because that pays away for my life. But what else do I do that makes me happy? Not what do I do to make, like I go to work and I make the business happy and I make my clients happy and I make my boss happy, and then I come home and I make the other people in my life happy. When does Aries North Node person ever get happy? Well, they're about to make space for that, and they're kind of putting themselves up. Their name is at the top of the list right now. This Aries may have something that they need to return to with the Judgment card. This could be Scorpio. This could be someone of great importance to them. This could be a relationship. They may even feel like they want to pursue a romance that they put on the back burner because they were too busy with work. They may want to go ahead and connect with somebody from their past, someone that they might even feel bad that they didn't give more of their attention to. But remember, this is not someone that they want to go and immediately pour their energy into. It's that I want to be around this person. I might need to say, hey, listen, I'm sorry that I didn't say this to you sooner. I wanted to spend time with you a while ago, and I let so many other things get in the way. This is Two of Wands. If that's what they're doing, they would be going toward a person that is going to be much like themselves, as far as like, we both make our own decisions in our life. I'm not trying to control you. You're not trying to control me. But I think we're cut from the same cloth, where maybe we both learned, I don't want to lose my autonomy again. I already did that once. I feel like this is someone who's been like well, I was going to say a hot-blooded romance, but it's been really hard for these two to connect. And sure enough, we see them as returning soulmate energies. I think that this character needs to make time for love, make time for intimacy, make time for closeness with a character that they actually view as someone very similar to themselves, someone who, and maybe whomever they're attracted to is an individual who has already been living that pathway where they're like, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Yeah, I'd love to spend time with you, but I also understand that we both have things that we have to do. So choose what you need to. I choose what I need to. The only thing is, I think that this Aries North Node character hadn't really been choosing what they needed to do. They need time with this partner. They need time with a soulmate. They need to invest in their own wants and desires and passions. And one of those passions might be to be able to have the freedom to go and connect with someone, spend time with someone who makes them happy, spend time just enjoying another person's company, for to be able to hug that person, to be able to kiss those lips. That's what this character wants now for themselves. And I don't think they made much time for their own soulmate connection, because it was always about other people's connections. Heck, this person could have been a great counselor or therapist. They were always helping other people improve their relationships. They might have been a great like a life coach or something, and somebody helping others make the most out of their lives, and yet they didn't leave any time for themselves. And that's what's turning around for this character. So I'm going to leave that there. I already did the Libra North Node, like the opposite side of this. I had to do it in a separate video because my dog barked at the end of the Libra portion, and then I was going to do the Aries, and instead I had to do Aries in a separate video. So if you want to see, though, that flip side of it, just out of sheer curiosity, I'll put the free link right there in the description box. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, take care. Bye.